There he is. Mike Barton Jr., better known as Murph Barton, here to talk about the U.S. Open at Oakmont. We're teeing off tomorrow, Murph. You ready?
I'm psyched, man. It's going to be great.
Where are you in your house? You look great.
I'm at my office.
Wow, we should maybe have you do it from there from now on.
Doing it from the headquarters.
Yeah, dude. You do not want to mess with Mobile East HQ. We got to make this as succinct and as sound as possible here. It's great to have you, pal.
Yeah.
I got to start.
You too. What are you guys talking about the Knicks? What are you guys talking about the Knicks coach before I got on?
Yeah. Did you Murph? You're gonna love this. The Knicks have gone backwards, and here's how you know: because Mike Francesa is breaking news about their coaching situation. Which you like? When's Mike Francesa had anything legitimate to actually say about anything? And he reported that the Rockets and the Timberwolves both denied the Knicks access to their coaches, right? Because Mike, yeah. So what does that tell you, Murph? It tells you that James Dolan is now back in control because he's the only guy that will give Mike these scoops, you know? So it's like they're in a time machine now. They've gone backwards, dude.
Yeah.
What do people? One quick question for you, for somebody on the main line that's close to Villanova, was there any movement or talk about Jay Wright actually taking that job for the Knicks?
No. I don't think anybody thought that was going to happen.
Yeah,
I'm sure the Knicks made a big push for him, but I don't think. From what I hear, he has no interest. I think he's got a good life going, plenty of money. He enjoys doing the TV stuff for NCAA. His wife likes to spend time in Florida. That's what I hear just through the grapevine.
No, that's good. That's good intel. All right, let's get your intel. And this isn't through the grapevine. This is through heavy-duty research and experience. U.S. Open at Oakmont tomorrow. Is this Scottie Scheffler's tournament to lose? Let me just give you a piece of context. I don't follow golf like you do. Every time I look up, I'm at a restaurant or I'm in a hotel room or I'm at home and there's golf on, I turn it on and Scottie is blowing away the competition.
He's
like it's crazy.
He's dominating right now. I mean, he's getting close to Tiger levels in the early 2000s. I think he's a plus 250 to win, which I think are the lowest odds since Tiger in like 2001, something like that. I mean, I think this course sets up great for him. It seems impossible watching all the previews. The rough is incredibly hard. The greens are super fast and undulating. You're really going to have to pick your spots. You're going to have to hit fairways and greens and really execute. And that's what Scottie does better than anybody. He's just like a robot. He just executes his plan and it's kind of boring. And then you look up and he's 4 under, you know?
So not only is he white hot right now, but you're telling me this course sets up well for him also.
I think so. He just rarely makes mistakes. You know, he executes his game plan. He doesn't take on more than he can, and he plays it the right way. And I think that's the way everybody's going to be trying to play this week, because I think disaster is around every corner. If you miss fairways, you end up in this rough, you're in big trouble.
I heard you could lose a small kid in the rough, dude. Like you could lose Quinn and Anna in there. Apparently, it's pretty bad.
It looks like it based on these videos, but every year before the Open, you see all these TikToks and Instagram reels where guys are dropping balls in the rough, and you're like, how could you possibly hit the ball out of that rough? And then somebody goes out and lights the course up. You know, I'll be interested to see what the final score for the week is. I think it's going to be like a couple under, 2 or 3 under.
Well, and that's my next question for you. That's my next question. What version of Oakmont are we going to see? Because in 2007, I remember Angel Cabrera won. He was like 5 over. Could we have a winner on the plus side?
Yeah, I mean, I saw an interview with Ben Griffin the other day where he was saying that he would take right now, if you said you can finish the week at +4, he said I'd sign up for that right now. And I think I'm pretty confident I'd have a chance to win.
Okay. When you speak about,
I mean, all the guys are talking about how tough this place is. Most people say it's the toughest course in America, especially the way they have it set up.
Do you want to hear a funny story about Oakmont? I figured I'd save this for on the air. I remember when you and I had a piece of a shore house. It was the Thin House down in Avalon. It was like this 3-story house. Obviously, people don't know, where we would just drink and smoke pot all day and go out. We were young. We were young guys before we knew better. So I was up there smoking pot with Steven Buno, right? And he's talking. All of a sudden, Buno goes on this rant. Steven Buno, guys, is a friend of ours, very musical, left of center type guy. I did not know him as like a golf analyst. And Stevie goes on and starts to tell me about Johnny Miller and how he dominated the course at Oakmont.
He did.
Right. Yeah. He's like,
he shot a 63.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there out of my mind, baked with Steven Buno, and he goes on and it was, I think it was the U.S. Open that Greg Norman blew in 96 or 97. But yeah, Buno goes on this great rant about Oakmont. I was like, wow, Steve, you know?
That's a deep dive.
It's a deep dive. I also, who has not been going deep recently, has been Rory McIlroy, with his driver, and that is a superpower of his. I've read and I've seen and heard from guys like you, but he's lost that a little bit. I guess you could say he lost it maybe at the PGA. Is that a concern? Like if I'm ready to bet on Rory McIlroy, am I worried at all about his driver?
I think you have to be. He's really struggled the last couple times out. I think he started the week 8-1, and I think he's gone up to 12-1. So Vegas is concerned as well. It's so hard to say. Everybody seems like they're fading Rory this week. It kind of makes me want to jump in on it. He bombs the ball, which is going to be a huge advantage here. To hit it out of this rough, you want to be as close to the green as possible. He and Bryson, I think, are going to have a big advantage because of how far they hit their drives. For a guy that's as good as Rory, it's one little swing thought, and he could be right back to being the best driver of the golf ball in the world. But yeah, it's concerning. If he goes out and hits it like he has been the last couple of weeks, he's not going to make the weekend, I don't think.
That's a great point, though, about him being like somewhat of a long shot this week, but still having the skill set to maybe get himself out of trouble or to elude trouble when you talk about how difficult this course is.
Yeah. I mean, he usually comes into these weeks as one of the heavy favorites, and it doesn't feel like he is. I mean, he's still one of the top 5 guys betting odds-wise, but people are more likely to fade him this week, where usually he has so many expectations on him. I think he plays with a lot of weight on his shoulders. Maybe this frees him up. Nobody's expecting him to win.
Well, all right, Rory. Right? We've talked about him. We talked about Scheffler. I think it's concerning the rest of the top 5, right? The rest of the world's top 5. Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, and Justin Thomas. Where do they fit in? They collectively just have one top 10 finish in these 2 majors so far. Where do those 2 dudes fit in? 3 dudes, sorry, coming into this.
I mean, I think they're all definitely in contention. Schauffele, the guy has a tremendous track record at U.S. Opens. He's got like an absurd amount of top 15 finishes. He always plays well at U.S. Opens. Difficult golf courses line up well for him. So, I like him this week. Morikawa is just an incredible ball striker, which I think, the best ball strikers are going to have the best success here. He's not super long, but he just puts it in the fairway every time, which it really seems like you're going to have to do this week. And JT, who knows? He's disappointed me so many times in these bets where he comes out and shoots an 80, he could win it or he could miss the cut. I have no idea where his game is right now. But when he gets hot, he's as good as.
Out of those 3, betting wise, you like that's a pretty good point you made. So you like Schauffele the best out of those guys coming in.
I think I do. Yeah. He always plays these super difficult golf courses well. He's got a tremendous track record at the Open. And if I had to pick one of those 3, he'd be my guy.
What about Cinderellas as far as if there is one that you think that isn't right top 10 right now or top 5 who we've talked about. Is there a guy we're not talking about right now that could win people some money this weekend?
I mean, I'm going to go. I think this is one of those events where anybody could win. Not anybody, but of the top 30 golfers, I think anybody could win. I'm going to put some money on Harris English, who's a bit of a long shot. He, in the last 5 U.S. Opens, has 3 top 8s. He won at Torrey Pines, which kind of similar. It's a long golf course with very difficult rough. He's just a steady player, good ball striker. I have a feeling he's going to play well this week. I also like Joaquin Niemann coming off live. I think he's due to have a really good showing in a major. He's a really good, talented player, hits it a long way, hits it straight. So those are 2 guys that I think, have a bit longer odds that you could make some money on.
And you see those ESPN betting odds next to Murph.
I can, yeah.
Can you take this?
I like Sepp Straka too.
Huh? We can't take it. All right, let's take that thing down. The thing in the middle. Poor Murph has got Slovacic's bullseye right there. We go. All right, there we go. Scott. How about my main man over here? My partner in crime I've told you this. The guy's the best. His name's Scotty Swingler. I mean, and Scotty Scheffler's in all these tournaments. It's
That's
the best
awesome.
name ever.
It
there
is.
he is.
What's up, Scotty?
Murph, what separates? Because you've kind of alluded to it, and I like this stuff because I don't know, but it's kind of inside golf. Why is the U.S. Open special, and what separates it from the other Grand Slam tournaments?
That's a good question. I mean, it's attainable to anybody. So amateur golfers can enter mid-am events, and if they win enough, they can go and try to qualify for the U.S. Open, which is really cool. I mean, there's a guy, I can't think of his name, but he's a dentist. He's probably the top-ranked amateur in America right now. He's a dentist by day and just a sick golfer, and he's playing in this, which is kind of a cool story. And it's
unless
just
he's your dentist, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, this guy's out playing so much golf. I think I'll go to somebody.
It's probably tough to get an appointment. And just, I think people enjoy the way they tend to set up the open courses and make them as difficult as possible. So, it's kind of fun to see these guys who shoot 5, 6, 7, 8 under almost every tournament, every round, go out there and struggle. And it's relatable to the average viewer because that's how we play, right? Like we're shanking balls or leaving one in the rough or topping one. You'll actually see that this week because of how difficult this course setup is. And that's a real hallmark of U.S. Opens. They try to make it tough. So I think, whoever wins this week is going to have to maintain the positive attitude and not get down on themselves if they bogey 3 holes in a row.
How about the coverage? It's on the U.S. Open's NBC still, right? Or am I wrong?
I'm not sure.
Okay. What do you most look forward to this week? Let's see. Where U.S. Open. What do you look forward to for the coverage? But let me see what the U.S. Open. So it's the U.S. Open. It's on NBC. Okay. So think of like the NBC, coverage and stuff like that. Who anybody you like particularly from NBC, from the Golf Network? Because I think the Golf Network and NBC are together. So who do you most look forward to, Murph?
Who's their team?
Huh?
Who's their team? You remind me who their crew. Remind me who their crew is.
Let's see.
Are we on a delay?
I mean, a little bit. It's a little screwed up. Okay, Dan Hicks is great, right? Dan Hicks with Kevin Kistner, Terry Gannon with Brad Faxon. Of course, Tarico will be with Noah Bagley, Steve Sands. Go ahead.
I'm a big fan of those guys. Dan Hicks is awesome. He was actually a good buddy of mine's college roommate. And Kevin Kisner's great personality.
Yeah,
great
that's our
addition
boy
to the booth.
Yeah, and when the good friend you mentioned, I got to talk to him about, he's buddies with Dan and, of course, Hannah Storm, the amazing ESPN broadcaster. She's probably one of the most legendary broadcasters of all time.
Yeah.
All right. So, one more question for you before we let you go. This has been very enlightening once again, Murph. I wish I could keep you here forever. All right. Let's do who are you? Who's Murph betting on? What do you got?
I like John Rahm to win this week. He had a great showing in the PGA. I think he ended up coming in second. He kind of faded down the back nine, but I think he seems locked in to me. He definitely has the game to win around a place like Oakmont. And look out for DeChambeau. I mean, he's got 2 U.S. Open wins in the last couple of years. He bombs the ball. He's strong. He can hit it out of the rough. He's a huge fan favorite. They love him at the Open. He's coming in. I would think he's coming in feeling really good about his chances.
All right, Murph, we're always feeling good about you coming on and joining us. And by the way, this is kind of cool because for the U.S. Open or for the PGA, I got to watch. I had money on Rahm coming down the stretch. And
that was fun.
Show up at your house. Yeah, it was fun. Well, guess what? I'll be back home again. So I'll see you Sunday, hopefully, and maybe we can root Rahm to another one. Or
let's go. Maybe. I think he's 12-1 again.
All right. I'm going in on Rahm again. And
me
you fooled
too.
Me twice though. You're out, pal.
Me too. I'm going big on Rahm.
All right, there he is, Murph Barton, joining us right now. We appreciate it, Murph. See you, brother. All right, that was good stuff.